Hey guys, so it's Max with you again. As promised, I was going to show you the course plan, 4-year course plan for the civil engineering degree. At least this is from Portland State University, but I'm sure other universities have a similar plan. And I'm just going to go through it step by step, starting with freshman year. So if we look at a freshman year, you start out with some of the basics. You start out with math. Of course, like I said previously, civil engineering requires math. Is it difficult, super difficult math? I was personally never intimidated by calculus. I went in there, got a good grade, so it's not a problem. I'd be more intimidated by chemistry because you have to take a 200 level chemistry, and those classes are not easy. So, and then along with all those classes, you have your general. Well, here we have university classes, but usually colleges have what's it called, reading 111 or writing 112 or something like that. This is what this is. So for the most part, freshman year, you should be worried about this chemistry. You have your general civil engineering classes here, and then you have your graphics class here. So not too big of a deal. That's the problem area. Okay, moving on to sophomore year. You take your harder math classes, which is calculus 4 and differential equations. I'd say worry more about calculus 4. DFQ, just put in the time, memorize the equations, you'll be good, you'll ace this class. Calculus 4, make sure you get some tutoring help if you need it. Physics is the easiest class ever, I would say, at a university. Don't need to worry too much about this one. Just if you want to keep your GPA up, try to care somewhat about it. It's useful, it's interesting. Just, yeah, it all depends on your professor. My professor was okay-ish, but overall, yeah, pretty easy class, so not much worry there. And you start out with some of your fundamental engineering classes, such as statics, strength of materials, dynamics, and surveying. These are pretty interesting classes. Statics is pretty good. Strength of materials pretty good. Dynamics is it's more mechanical engineering, but I'm sure if you like moving objects, you'll like dynamics. And surveying, you get out, use some total stations, so you'll get to measure elevations and distances. So that's a pretty cool class. And once again, you'll have your general general sophomore classes, so reading and writing and whatnot. Okay, now junior year. This is considered to be the killer year. If you survive this year, then you will most likely will become a civil engineer. Now, what happens in junior year is all your general classes are over, except like statistics is kind of a pain in the butt here, but you just get through that, memorize the equations. And geology is it's a requirement for PSU. I don't know if it is for other colleges, but yeah, you need to memorize the rock layers and whatnot. So let's get into this section right here. These are some hardcore engineering classes, and you have to take a lot of them all at once. So over here, fall term, you got fluid mechanics, another materials class in engineering, thermodynamics. Nah, these are not much of a problem except fluid mechanics. That gets to be very pretty challenging. I mean, fluid mechanics, you'll kind of go in there and you won't really know what's going on until maybe like the end of the term, and hopefully by the end you'll know what's going on. So let's move on to what is it? Winter term. You take hydraulics, which is a subset of fluids or continuation of fluids, which is much more understandable. Here you deal with piping, here you deal with flow, here you deal with closed systems, and in some cases open systems, but nice and simple hydraulics. Structural analysis, this is one of my favorites, but yeah, very, very cool class. You learn to analyze structures. And environmental engineering, I would say this is, I mean, for me personally, this got pushed over here because environmental engineering is related back to this stuff over here, to chemistry. All you do is pretty much just straight up chemistry, nonstop in environmental engineering, and you get about 10 hours of homework assignment per week. So yeah, pretty challenging class. I'd look out for this guy here. And then you take transportation. If you enjoy transportation, you'll do great in this class. So then you get this term. So you get your soils class, pretty easy. Indeterminate structures, this is where it gets difficult to the point where in statics, for example, you get determinate structures where you can easily find all your reactions and moments. But indeterminate structures is you get structures that are not as simple. You have to use imaginary structures or virtual moments and virtual forces, and you'll do all right if you really enjoy it. But yeah, definitely pay attention to this class. And water resources. Once again, this is a pretty challenging class because it goes hand in hand with environmental. Just pay attention to this one and make sure you allocate enough time. And private public investing is your only economics class that you'll ever take. Just where you learn the APRs. What is an APR? What is a credit card? How to invest? Yada yada. Pretty simple. And then finally, senior year. You take your another soils class or geotechnical design where you learn about foundations, how to properly compact the soil, what strength it needs to be, all that good stuff. Urban transportation, another transportation class. What you mostly do in transportation classes is you analyze traffic flows. You then use those traffic flows for signal computations. So pretty much what's an effective green light, what's an effective yellow light and red light. You'll do all right if you just pay attention in the class. And then structural elective, you have the options of steel design or concrete design. So whichever one you want to take. And then upper division cluster as well. So just a general class, reading, writing. Okay, so then you get the section of electives. It's whatever you want to take once again. And this is pretty much where you start deciding out of all the classes that you took, what do you want to specialize in. So, and I'm going to put the emphasis on this because this is where it kind of, you say, I'm going to be good at this for the rest of my life. Or you can take that approach, or you can say, I'm going to try different things. I'm going to try different areas just to make sure, like, when I go for here, which is your master's degree, when I go for here, I'm going to choose, like, an area out of these electives. So I'm going to specialize for the rest of my life in this area. So that's what electives are good for. Or you can just pretty much get ahead on your master's degree by choosing, like, for example, structural electives in this area. So, and then you have your design classes, which are your capstone projects. You get in a group of people and you design one particular project. Me personally, right now, I'm working on a parking structure, and what we're doing is actually, it's not a structural project, it's a water resource project where we're actually separating contaminated water from a parking structure, and we're making sure it doesn't go into our river here in Portland, but we want to use a bioswale to separate all the oils out of the water and maybe reuse it for another building. But that's just an example of a project that you do. And yeah, so that's pretty much, that concludes your 4 years. So here's a basic outline, kind of some guidance. Try to get these inquiries and division clusters done early as soon as you can, so you have more time for these guys. It's okay to push some of these guys off to senior year, especially if you push these guys back, but get the easy stuff over first so it doesn't bug you later on your junior and senior year. And like I said, just try to survive this junior year. Keep your GPA above 3.0. That's highly recommended because most jobs out there and internships kind of usually put up minimum GPA of 3.0 required. So kind of stay afloat, do your best. I would even say in these easy classes, try to get your GPA 3.5 and above in case you drop junior year, to 3.2, 3.1, 3.0. So you stay afloat above that 3.0. And yeah, just survive till senior year. And from here on out, it's going to be easy. So here you're choosing your elective classes, so you're probably going to do a lot better because you're taking classes that you're probably going to enjoy. So yeah, that's, for the most part, that's the outline of a civil engineering 4-year degree schedule. There's nothing wrong with pushing some classes off for 5th year. I get financial aid, so and I want to start on my master's classes. So I, kind of pushed off some of these classes to my 5th year, and I'm going to be taking master's classes simultaneously with these classes. And you might say, why are you doing that? And here's the biggest tip when it comes to finances. You can take up to 12 credits, credits graduate classes for undergraduate rate, meaning that usually graduate rate classes is 5,000 per 12 credits, and undergraduate is 2,500 for 12 credits. Well, you can take 12 credits of those graduate classes as an undergrad still for 2,500. So I definitely take advantage of that. Even if you have to push on to 5th year, you'll save some money. And yeah, I mean, it's 45 credits, I think, to get your master's degree. You like get one of those terms off, and by doing an undergrad, or if you can find a way to squeeze them in here. So, well, I feel like I'm rambling on, but yeah, for the most part, this is the course outline. And if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. All right, thank you very much, and I'll be posting more videos soon with regards to some of the material that you go through. Thanks.
We've done lots of projects for Crossrail, bridge strengthening schemes in Australia, helped to design a new footbridge in Auckland in New Zealand.
I worked in Farringdon for a while for a big chemical company.
Okay, cool.
And then I managed to get a job with Oxfam in South Sudan. So then I moved out there to be a water and sanitation engineer.
Currently I'm doing a PhD, and my project is focused on facade engineering. So I'm currently looking at a lot of building designs.
Currently working on London Bridge station redevelopment, building a new bridge there.
Cool.
As part of the redevelopment they're doing next to the Shard. So yeah, I've worked on lots of different projects, small ones, big ones, and it's been really interesting.
Now I'm at Engineers Without Borders just for 1 month, and then I'll be moving to Mexico next month to work there with water and sanitation engineering.
I am an environmental services engineer, otherwise known as a public health engineer for Arup. That basically involves designing water and like drainage systems and within a building mainly, and also looking at sprinklers.
I'm currently working as a project engineer at a company called Saipem. It's an offshore contractor in the oil and gas industry.
No 2 days are ever the same. It's always something different, new challenges you have to overcome, and it's quite challenging, but that's kind of what you want in a career, I guess.
I've got a friend who works in Brazil now, but he, with that Brazilian company in the last year, has also worked in Angola and Venezuela, and he's 23, 24. So don't rule out the possibility of doing some really quite epic things quite early on in your career, and chase them if that's what you want to do, because I think this course will set you up to have the ability to do that.